7 things you should never say to a real estate agent when you're about to list your home in Miami. Number 1, never tell them that you're not in a hurry to sell. You really should be working as a team with your agent. And if you're actually going out there and saying you're not in a hurry to sell, what that really tells them, or what we hear as agents, is, I really want a high price, I'm not motivated, I'm not realistic. And what we realize as agents is that we spend a lot of money, and I personally spend a lot of money on my listings. If you're not committed to me, I'm gonna have a really hard time being committed to you. So I think it's really important that you manage each other's expectations, you work together, and ultimately that you're honest and transparent. The fight is out there between you and the rest of the market, the buyer's agents and the buyers out there. You should be very much aligned with your agent. It's so important to be honest and candid, and to know that they're going to want to invest money in your listing and give it 100% effort. Because if they feel that it's just not going to hit the number because you're not motivated, that's an uphill struggle that you don't want to hit from the start. So let's just be honest and work together. My second point, never tell them that they are the only ones being interviewed. You should always, I believe, meet with at least 3 agents when you're actually about to list your property. You want to really understand the full breadth of the market with other agents out there, because everyone has different strategies. Certainly many things will be similar, photos, videos, but how you sell the property and some of the other tools you have at your disposal are really going to be quite different across the board. Everyone has a different personality and therefore a different style. And also you want to find the people that gel and bond with you. It shouldn't just be a case of, I'm going to list with you because you sold Doris's house down the street, and if you sold her house, you should then sell my house. You don't know the terms and the variables of that deal, so make sure you meet other people. Also, just to understand the prices as well, to make sure that you're seeing all the optics. So always meet at least 3 agents when you go to list your property. My third point is, don't give them your opinion on the price. If an agent says to you, what do you think it's worth? Never answer that question. Why? Because agents should do their research. They should be forthcoming, having done good analysis, good optics of the market. They should be able to bring comps to the table, show you what those properties sold for, compare it to your property, and help draw a conclusion of what you should be listing at. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't be doing your research as well and really looking into what you see the value of your home to be. It's important for you to run your own analysis, and there are so many tools out there that will enable you to do that. In fact, my website itself has an advanced analytics tool and a neighborhood market tool that gives you all the recorded sales within the market over the last 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, or even a year. And so you can actually see the properties, paying attention to the dollar per square foot, the days on the market, and all the other variables that will help you understand the terms, conditions, and all the variables within the market at that moment. My fourth point, and this is a universal one, never ask an agent whether you think it's a good time to buy or sell. Because for the most part, and I know this isn't true of all agents because there's some great agents out there, but often you'll get the answer where, of course, it's always a great time to buy because long-term the market's going to go up and you should really get onto the property ladder because now you're holding an asset. Or on the other flip side of the coin, no, you should sell because the market's soft right now and it could get softer. Knowing if it's the right time for you is often a very personal situation, and there's a lot of personal variables that come into it, whether or not maybe you're downsizing, maybe because of the kids at school, maybe because the house is just too much for you. There's lots of things that are very personal to you, and that should be really respected. On the other hand, if you're talking to an investor looking to sell, I do believe there are some very quantifiable metrics that will allow you to understand whether or not it's the right time to sell. Once again, the reason I built Lux Life Miami blog as a Zillow competitor, or truly a competitor if you will, is to provide a level of analytics and understanding of the market that will allow anyone to really dig in and understand the market direction. Then obviously combined with the reports, you can really figure out whether it is a good time to buy or sell and not rely on the realtor to tell you. Number 5, never say to an agent, well, I see you everywhere, I see your marketing, I'm just gonna trust you because I know you know what you're doing, okay? I think it's really important for sellers out there to ask your agent, show me what you're going to do. Because all too often, agents will lead onto the brokerage and say, well, we have this magazine and we have this great website, we reach millions of people and we have this syndication around the world. Forget it, the broker's going to do very little. It's the agent who's actually going to make the difference. And importantly, an agent who actually has a really good understanding of marketing is what you need. To have a good understanding of marketing, they should be able to explain to you exactly what they're going to do, their campaigns, their timelines, and very importantly, quantifiability. Because if you can't measure it, how do you know if it's even going to work? Don't be sucked in by words like, oh, we use AI or we've got tech. That's just buzzwords very often. Really ask them, so what exactly with AI are you doing, are you using to market my home? And what exactly to do with tech are you using that will help sell my home? I think ultimately marketing does come down to great photos, great video, great storytelling. But there's a lot of other things as well, whether it's Google campaigns that you might run with pay-per-click, or whether it's other forms of marketing that can be really measured and quantified. And honestly, because everything is online, it really is quantifiable. You should be able to see and measure the number of views that your property got through all the different platforms, not just Trulia and Zillow, because it tells you those automatically, but obviously through the MLS, which tells you automatically, but also through other elements such as a campaign, a Google pay-per-click campaign, or maybe an Instagram campaign, specifically around your property. You're not looking for general marketing. You don't care about what marketing is being done out there across the spectrum. You want to know about the marketing for your specific property. And then you also want to know how much money is being spent. Never tell an agent that you want to sell your property fast, because if you tell them that you want to sell it quickly, that might mean that they're then going to give you a lower number. Because of course, let's face it, a fast sell means fast money, it's easy, it's less work. The reality is that there should be a sweet spot where you can time a quick sale at the optimum price. So don't undersell your own property and don't just let be blindly governed by the agent to say, oh, let's list here because we'll sell it very quickly. You need to really not leave any money on the table. Otherwise, just do a for sale by owner and slash your price by 30% and you'll sell it in a day. But that's not what this is about. If you want to go one step further, I actually recommend that you go out there and get an appraiser. Everyone should work for their dollars here. An agent is a professional and they will appreciate this. I certainly do, and I'll often say to clients, well, why don't we get an appraiser out there and see what they think it's worth? Costs a few dollars, but honestly, it's absolutely worth it, because that way it takes uncertainty off the table and will allow you to hone in on how far you can push it. Of course, there's always a high, a medium, and a low price. Respect the market, but don't leave money on the table. And finally, number 7, this is one of my favorites. Never call an agent and say, I've got this great property, but I'm gonna tell all these different agents and I hope that you'll all market it and I'll hope that you'll bring me a buyer because, I might list it with my aunt, my uncle, my sister, my best friend, but you do so much business out there in the market, then maybe you might have a buyer and you can bring them to me. Well, guess what? You're just another listing then. If you're not giving priority to an agent, if you're not committing to them, they're not going to commit to you. And I promise you that by doing it this way, again, if you're just going to give it to your aunt or your uncle or your sister or your brother, you might as well just stick it on the market yourself and not even bother. If you want agents to be focused and committed in selling your property, give them the listing, but give them the challenge. Now, I'm going to give you a bonus point, and point number 8, which that we didn't specifically get into, is you don't necessarily have to give them a timeline to sell. All too often, agents will come in there and saying, well, I need a year. And this is probably my biggest point and my pet peeve. I see it all the time. Agents will come in and they will give you an overinflated number. They'll give you a pie in the sky number that sounds so attractive, and sellers do it all the time. They say, I want to list with that guy or gal because they're telling me what I want to hear. And what I want to hear is the best possible price. And guess what happens? It's not achievable. You don't hit the number, they tie you up, they go through the process, they tell you the market's changing, they pull you down, and it's a war of attrition. And because they've got you on a year's listing, by the time you're done, you're so exhausted, you just want to sell the property, and you end up selling it at a considerable amount of money, less than probably that you would have done. If a property languishes on the market for a long period of time, it generally starts to stink the place up like a piece of old fish. No one wants a piece of old fish. So make sure that when you list your property, you list it right, you don't go for the highest number, you have that agent quantify the numbers. And again, market analytics is so important, which is why myself as an economist, I lean into that so much with my marketing, and I talk so extensively about where the numbers are in the market, because I think it's important to be honest, transparent, and take the process seriously. Don't drink the Kool-Aid, don't choose the highest price, the same way don't choose the lowest price. Do your research and go with an agent with the experience, with the quantifiable knowledge, with the marketing and all the skills that you need to sell your home. If you are looking for an agent that maybe is in an area that I personally don't serve, then I will happily recommend you to one of the agents out there that I think is really, really excellent. There's a lot of great agents. Of course, if you are looking to sell your home and you belong to one of these neighborhoods, then absolutely I can help. And it may not be me personally, because I have a team of territory experts that work all the way up and down the East Florida coastline, from Pinecrest all the way up to Palm Beach. Absolute experts in the market, and I would love for you to interview me along with them for your listing. And again, don't just interview me, interview a total of 3 people. Make sure you do it right. Thank you for watching, and please watch my other videos on how to sell your home and what's important.